Welcome to Melted. This is Frankie Melted Chapsticks Hollywood. I want to thank you for joining us today. We have a very special guest, Britt Lightning of Vixen, who I've known for years, and they named cereals after her, Shredded Wheat. She is so fantastic on the guitar. We are sponsored by Carlino Guitars out of 135 Mystic Ave in Medford. Eddie has thousands of guitars to choose from. He can make you a guitar. Joe Filoni's there to give you lessons. They have a beautiful purple couch where Danny and Jimmy give therapy. So it's a great place to be. Eddie is fantastic. He's open Sunday 11 to 7, Monday through Friday. 11 to 9, Saturday 10 to 7. He could make you a custom mandolin if you asked him. Does all sorts of woodworking. He also recently started making guitar stands. Another reason to buy a guitar. So Eddie is fantastic, and we're thankful for him. So we have Britt Lightning today. She has toured the world, was originally in Jaded, played for Alejandro Sanz on his world tour, Latin Grammys, plays with Vixen, a really amazing artist, wonderful individual as well. So much fun. She brings energy and life to the stage. So we're going to just chat about music and what we're doing during the pandemic and trying to have some fun while we can, which is a good thing. Finding out what sort of gear she's using these days, guitars, etc. She recently had a birthday. She is also an equestrian, started out on the flute, and now shreds a guitar. I'm so sure give her an instrument, she'll play it for you. It's interesting to see people develop and progress in their career. She also had a tryout with Lady Gaga. You know, there's all sorts of stuff we can do if we put our minds to it. We are just, the Melted Chapsticks are hoping that the St. Patrick's Day parade will be rescheduled maybe for August, so we could do that again. That was a lot of fun for our band. And on the line, one of my favorites of all time and space, Britt Lightning. How are you?
Hello. How are you?
Well, hello. Dealing with the snow. We had about 7 to 15 inches, and I'm sure you don't have to deal with that. When you open your freezer, think of us.
Yeah. Well, hey, I was just back in Boston. I happened to leave right before that big snowstorm, but that's where I'm from, so I know all about it. I'm no stranger to that.
No, you can.
But not to brag. It is 70 degrees here in LA right now and sunny.
Which is so lovely, and another reason to live there. I wanted to say happy birthday to you. 21 again.
Thank you. Again, it's amazing that number keeps coming up.
I actually am 28 again, and I've been that way for centuries. So I thought I'd be cooler than the 27 kids because I wanted to live. But happy birthday. It looked like you had a blast. You were riding unicorns, the horses.
Yeah, absolutely. Why not?
Tell me about your life as an equestrian. When did you get involved with riding horses? Because you looked like a pro.
Yeah, well, I started when I was 10, and then I got really hooked, and then I started taking serious lessons. And my goal in life was to be a professional equestrian. I was showing hunter and jumper events mostly. I was doing some big jumps. I was really advanced, and I was on that path until one day I discovered the electric guitar and got so hooked, and then started practicing all the time. When I started playing gigs were on the weekends. The horse shows were on the weekends. One went till about 3 a.m. after the bars closed by the time I got home, and the other was super early in the morning, and it was so hard to juggle both. And I wasn't spending enough time with my horse. I started to feel really guilty. And so I ended up selling my horse, true story, custom Bengal Jackson Flying V guitar.
Wow. Say that backwards. I love it for the look and the way you play it, actually. I've been taking lessons at Carlino's Guitars.
Oh, yes.
How do you know Eddie Carlino?
Man, I know Eddie. I've known him for years. He's the best, first off. I'd like to say that. And he's just been a great friend. I think I met when I went into his guitar shop like over 10 years ago, if not more. And then I reunited with him after we kind of fell out of touch at a Kiss show, and then we've been talking, and he's just great. He makes incredible instruments. His guitars are amazing. He's got a wonderful shop down in Medford, Mass, and he's just a great guy. Yeah. And makes amazing straps, too. Got to say that. Guitars and straps, among other things.
Yeah, he actually made, a few years ago, it was an Epiphone PS 120 that he threw the rhinestones on. Big Kiss fan myself. He made that for me, and the straps. Now I have to learn how to play it. So it's great to look good. I have the look down, and I think in time we'll get the rest of it together. But it's just a journey for all of us, really.
Well, the look is the most important part in getting the chicks. So, you've got that part down, and you're on the right track. The playing that's secondary.
Well, speaking of getting the chicks, I saw you at the House of Blues with Jaded.
Ah, yes.
And I met your beautiful mother. And I said, your daughter's incredible inside and out. Would you mind adopting me so I can become a better person? And she laughed. And then I said, do you need a son-in-law? And she looked at me and said, when you learn how to play Eruption, I'll let you marry my daughter. And I will tell you this much, you're safe for the next 15 years, okay? So
I love it.
Oh, my gosh.
I remember that night we met there. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's all about having a good time. As far as... It just seems like, to digress a little bit, you played the flute. Would you ever mix that back in with your music?
There might be a flute solo on the next Vixen album. I don't know. You never know.
Aha!
Little Jethro Tull going on.
I saw you riding the horses on Instagram and having a good time. Do you think you'd ever do that professionally in the future?
Probably not. I mean, I would do some eventing, competitions for fun, but I don't think I would dedicate any part of my life seriously to it right now, just because it's a whole other commitment that I don't know if I'd be willing to make right now. But I definitely enjoy riding, and I'm loving getting back into it a little bit lately. So,
and not for the danger factor, but maybe in one of your videos, you could do a solo while riding a horse. That would be another story.
Okay, I love that idea. I love that.
Pressing the marketing right now, yes.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Your career from Jaded, and then, through the grapevine, I followed you. And I heard about Lady Gaga and the tryout and making it. I just wanted to take the question one step further. I don't mind wearing appliances, etc. But why shaving your head to be in the band? Was it a test? Was it something just, so you could put a different wig on? I just was curious.
I'm pretty sure it was a test. It was a test. How committed, how bad do you want it? And maybe she wanted to be the only blonde in the band, although she wears a lot of wigs too. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just think it's really interesting, the musical mafia.
Yeah, that was a weird one. Never had that request before.
No,
since.
People actually, on the daily, and sometimes my family, Frankie, would you at least comb your hair? And I'm like, okay, I'll try that. Maybe throw a little Moroccan oil in. I'll do that, but I'm not cutting it. So as far as your musical influences, Vixen and, creating Jaded, did the Go-Go's influence you as well?
A little bit, but I personally can't cite them as a huge influence, but Vixen did. I was more into the hard rock at the time when I was really playing. So, I certainly respect them and stuff, and I'm more inspired by them now than I was. I didn't really know that much about them at the time when I was first starting out, to be completely honest.
Yeah, I saw a real nice documentary on them.
Yeah, I saw that too. It was fabulous. Yeah.
Going on tour with the ska band in England and being, treated horribly to get your chops. I really just admired how they got together and thrived, and doing that yourself, which is great. As far as just the experience, of touring, did you ever think you'd do the stadium tours? And how does that differ? Kind of like you've done the Teen Choice. What are the differences between the stadium tours, say TV shows, and what are kind of your favorites?
Well, I had always dreamed of doing the stadium tours. I didn't know if it was going to happen, but that was definitely the goal. I dreamed, I wished, I prayed. I wanted it so bad. I just wanted to experience that. I had read every, rock and roll autobiography and book, and I just wanted to be a part of that crazy lifestyle and just experience all of that, and the travel and the energy of being on stage in such large venues. And that was amazing. And there's nothing like it. There's nothing. I think it's the most exhilarating thing I've done. I mean, I'm sure it's probably, maybe skydiving is as exhilarating, but I have no desire to jump out of a flying plane. But it's just the best. And then, but it's harder to go back to playing small clubs after that, because it's actually more nerve-wracking. Like when you have all that energy and all those people, you don't really make eye contact or pick certain people out of the crowd or feel like you're being watched by one particular person. So it's kind of calming with the sea of people, and the energy overtakes you and the excitement, and you don't get as self-conscious. So for me, going back to playing clubs and seeing the people right in front of you actually is more nerve-wracking and a scarier experience, which is kind of funny.
No, and that's something I would think would be the complete opposite. And I know Ringo Starr said every Beatles show he was almost really nauseous until he hit the first cymbal. And that's how he got through it. Like, what are some of the things that you would do to help you calm your nerves before a show?
I like to take a shot of whiskey right before going on stage.
Nice. My hair turns water into wine. Although I've been sober 10 years, I've drank so much. Whatever you need, I'm here.
Yes. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Thank you.
But let's see. I have little weird superstition things, like I have a lucky stuffed tiger that needs to come to every show with me, and if he's not there, I remember her, our road manager, running off right before the show started, because I was like, oh my God, I left Stripey's in there. I left Stripey in the room. Can you please go get him? Because this is going to distract me all show. That's a true story. I know, totally ridiculous. I have to have a ring on a certain finger when I play, or else my hand doesn't feel right. Really, the stupid stuff matter to me when it comes down to crunch time, and making me feel comfortable on stage. I don't know if I have the wrong socks on. It's so distracting, and I just, But other than that, breathing helps. A little bit of a meditative moment. I like to kind of center a little bit in the hotel room before going down, and then just making sure you know what songs are playing, and or at least familiar with the material for whichever band you're performing with, because nothing makes you feel more confident than having the confidence that you know what you're playing, know the songs, and have practiced.
No, absolutely. And Bruce Lee, one of the best fighters on the planet, had a lot of anxiety before fights. And you're talking about someone that can break concrete. But what he said was, if you're prepared, you're going to be anxious. And what you do is, he called it an anxiety burger. He'd eat it and then go kick some ass. So, that's another way to look at it. And I know how you love to put extensions of colored tiger things in your hair. Mm-hmm. What if we just hung Stripey off of the guitar?
That would be very cute. I'm sure you would love it. I'm not sure how the rest of the band would feel about that.
Behind the music, how Stripey caused some trouble.
Exactly. Oh.
Transitioning from when you think of the stadium tours, which I'm going to go back to, playing for Rachel Platten for Fight Song, a lot of that was TV shows, correct?
Yes.
And what was that like, if you compare them?
Yeah, so that was a blast. I hadn't played on the Today Show, Good Morning America, stuff like that. We did the finale episode of America's Got Talent, Live with Kelly and Mike, a lot of those shows, the morning shows and stuff. And so that was so fun. I mean, it's a different vibe for sure. It's not like you are super energized by the live audience vibe as much, and it's a little more of a sterile environment. A lot of times the drummer's playing behind plexiglass or something like that, and the sound isn't like reverberating through your whole being. So it's a little different, but I mean, it was a great experience to learn and see how all that worked, and with the cameras and the lights, it's definitely a cool, interesting vibe that I'm grateful to have experienced.
My band, the Melted Chapsticks, I'm just so grateful. Starting so much later in life, I picked up the bass guitar because it only had 4 strings. I was able to do, a couple local TV shows to experience the flavor. And then when you get around, these various stars, do you feel like behind the scenes it's just the human condition? People are going to be who they're going to be?
You mean as far as the people that you work with, you mean? Or?
Yeah, work with, or even some of the hosts of shows, various, America's Got Talent, or...
Yeah, I mean, most people that I've met with all that have just they've been amazing. They've been cool, down to earth. I mean, the biggest stars, the bigger the star you meet, I feel like the more down to earth they become. It's kind of amazing. Like I played for Alejandro Sanz, an amazing Spanish artist, and he was just the nicest, most genuine person. With so much success, you would think maybe he would be different, but no. And like who Kelly and Michael Strahan, they were all so cool. And I think a lot of people in that position are happy with their careers and happy with their jobs and lucky to be in that position too. So I think that it's sometimes reflected in someone's personality.
No, exactly. And I'm just thinking, having a female band, guys can be humans can be problems in general. So it's nice when you get the nice mix. Now with Jaded, that was your creation, correct?
Yeah, me and the drummer worked together, and we kind of took the concept from the drummer's older band and expanded on it. And she had an all-female trio. And then and we worked with a manager, Bill, who helped us at the time with the kind of the direction. And so, and we just kind of ran with it. That was a blast. But I do have to say, I feel like working with all females is less drama than having males in the band or being there, because you're just kind of like all on the same team. Like with Vixen too, it's just like everybody's supportive, everybody wants everybody to be the best. No, I haven't encountered anybody wanting to hog the limelight, or it's more about me, or no competitive vibes. It's like we're all here doing what we do best, and the better you are, the better that makes me. And the best we can be helps everybody, helps the brand, and helps us all as individuals. So that's kind of been the vibe, and I love that.
No, and that's why I was just thinking about the concept from starting a band to then joining one. You tried out with Lady Gaga, and then to come into a situation, was that a bit nerve-wracking, especially with who Vixen was for you?
Oh yeah, I was definitely nervous. I mean, going into that audition, that was scary. I mean, when it's your band, it's like anything goes. It can, you don't have to make excuses, or if you mess up, it's just kind of like you're in charge. So it's kind of whatever. But with Vixen, I mean, Jan is a phenomenal guitar player, and so I was very concerned about like making sure I did her parts justice, but at the same time, not being a complete copy. Kind of, it's good to add your own flair to it as well, and just making sure that I was respectful of her parts, but also contributed as a new energy to the band, and wanted to make sure that I was on the same page with the rest of the girls, and and it was amazing. I mean, we're all like sisters. I feel like we have a great relationship, and have so much fun on stage. And I think that's the most important thing that sometimes people forget too. Like, it's about having fun. If you get out on stage and you're worried about this and that, or stressed, and it's like, oh, that's not the point. That's not the point of music. It's to let go and get in the zone and free yourself and enjoy and emote, and
and that's what life in general is. There's a lot of people that come to you to get that release. I remember being at numerous shows, and one in particular I saw, Kiss in Pittsburgh. Paul Stanley stands up and says, "This is church tonight, let your troubles go away. Let's just have a good time." And it shows with Vixen. It's shown in anything you've been involved with. You're a real light in that way. And people do need to recognize that. We're here to have fun. When the ego gets involved and it's not about the team concept, then, in some ways that's when we make decisions to either stick it out, see if it'll change, or move on.
Exactly. Well, thank you for saying that. And yeah, I agree. It's about separating from the ego. Yeah, it's about like the greater good. What are we doing here? We're spreading joy and love through music, and that's the greater purpose.
Absolutely. And I lived in Mexico for a year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I speak English, Spanish, and Starbucks. So if you're ever in trouble, which you wouldn't have, did you pick up a lot of Spanish on Alejandra's tour?
I did. CCC. But I'm a little out of practice, but no, I really did. I tried to study it. I tried to learn it as much as I could on tour, and I did good on my own. I'd go around Spain and Mexico and stuff by myself, and I could get along just fine, ordering things, doing things. Actually, I swore that when COVID hit, I was going to get back into speaking Spanish more, but didn't really happen. But I do need to practice it a little bit more to get it back. But I can understand it pretty well.
Well, I've been keeping up with the Duolingo. Have you heard of Duolingo?
Yeah, I love Duolingo.
Yeah, I don't love when the bird tells me, "You better practice or you're going to lose your streak." I'm trying to have fun with this little bird. I'm going to get stripey after you if you keep it up.
Totally, I know that little bird. Yeah, he's a slave driver.
It's like, you have 10 minutes. I went from the Diamond League. I'm down. I missed by a couple points, but we'll get back there.
Yeah, exactly.
With the Latin Grammys, what was that like?
Oh, that was awesome. I was pretty nervous, but that was really fun. That was in 2013, and it was at the MGM in Vegas, and that was amazing. I mean, I never thought I'd be playing on a Grammy show, so that was definitely a bucket list moment, and but also scary. Those live TV things are just scary because you can't mess up, or else it's like you let everybody down, and it's not like a live show where you can recover and make it up in the next song. It's like, this is your moment. This is the one single hit that we are playing. So don't mess up. But it's a good test of focus and staying calm under pressure, kind of like the football players, like Brady last night. Oh my God. I know we both were rooting for Brady last night.
Yes, we were. We were. I love my Patriots 2.0. I'm sorry. I'm pulling for the Bucks. If you don't like it, you can buck off or tuck off.
I love it. I'm with you. I'll follow Brady and Gronk wherever they go.
No, they're so good. And it really was kind of it's always nail biter, but this was more of a blowout than I thought. But I went to a few Super Bowls, thankfully. Have you ever been to a Super Bowl?
I have not yet.
Well, we need to get Vixen to play at a Super Bowl. We got to get this stuff going.
I know. I think we could. I think we could have done rivaled the weekend there last night.
There's nothing more than weekends than long weekends or Vixen for me. So I'm going to make a phone call. We're going to talk to Goodell and get you folks at the halftime show next year.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to it.
Are you, in the midst of all of this, have you found the journey? Have you become more spiritual? I know you have some superstition. Were you raised a certain way? Or what do you find that helps you, through the most, whether it's, you were riding horses, etc.?
I am spiritual. I feel like what's gotten me through a lot of things and helped me to enjoy the journey. I actually kind of got into this new way of thinking on the Alejandro tour, and I think it was a challenge for me to feel comfortable with that new style of music and to get over the fear of playing to thousands and thousands of people in stadiums and stuff. And it was actually me and the trumpet player Julie, who is a dear friend of mine, that we kind of got together and started reading like more up on meditation and spirituality and just like, being present and mindset and breath work. And we I think we grew a lot together during that tour, and kind of just became more confident and at ease with ourselves and with where you are in life, and realizing that it's about the journey, and it's not even the end game, because that's not the exciting part. The exciting part is when you're trying to accomplish something and everything you go through and the challenges, and then you can look back and realize that the challenges were actually beautiful and they helped shape who you are now, and that you're grateful for learning the things that you were able to learn through them. And so I'd say but our friendship really, I think, helped us both to get to that different level of mindset.
No, for sure. I implement the same things: breath work, Buddhism, Zen. I was raised in organized religion, and it's more of a live and let live thing for me, especially a day at a time. With the alcohol, I can't control people, places, or things. It's how we react to them. So that's helped me a ton.
Mm-hmm.
And really, all of that goes back 3,000 years to Stoicism. If you look that up, they say, embrace your life where you're at right now, and memento mori, just the realization that we're not going to be here forever.
Right. Yep. No, making the most of every day. I mean, I always say, like, I love my life, and if I died tomorrow, I wouldn't have any regrets. Like, it's been great, and I think that's important to feel that way, every day, because you never know what could happen. This world is so crazy right now. It really is.
Well, that's what I wanted to get into, was a few things. I had a live stream canceled at the Midway, so that was a big thing for me, this pandemic, etc. And I look with Vixen, you have some tour dates coming up. Are those set in stone, or? I
mean, as far as, whatever the health, the state of the, COVID becomes, I mean, they are set for now. If there's some other surge with COVID, or the vaccine isn't really working, I can see them getting pushed back, but I'm hoping that they're on the books, for now, and they stay there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all we can hope. I mean,
right. God only knows, but like, you're opening up in Vegas, you're playing with Skid Row. I think that state is pretty much wide open. You're on the tour with Mark Slaughter as well, who I interviewed and love him as a person. And, he is a super light, was great to interview. Then you're going to be close by, so I'm going to collect some cans and try to come down to Mohegan Sun and see you.
Yes. Oh my God, that's going to be great. I love playing Mohegan, especially since I get to see some friends like you, because it's a little more local. Yeah. And Mark Slaughter is great. The whole band is great. We love playing with them. I mean, I think things, maybe things will be at, a limited capacity, not full capacity, but I think things are going to start happening and opening up. I mean, they kind of have to at this point.
No, absolutely, and thankfully, we have several vaccines out there that they're passing out, and it's going to get done. And as far as your new album with Vixen, is that complete?
It is not. It got a little slowed down. I mean, we had a few writing sessions right before COVID hit, and the finishing sessions scheduled, which were canceled due to COVID. But I mean, we've been writing, over Zoom and stuff like that. We all live across the country. None of us live in the same state, so it hasn't been easy. Nobody's been really wanting to travel to get together up until this point so far. So it's slowed us down a little bit, I have to say. But I mean, we're still all kind of being creative and recording ideas and coming up with stuff, sending it back and forth. But it unfortunately is not complete yet. But hopefully by the end of the year.
I'm waiting for some more killer rock and roll shredding from you, and and the flute solo. We just keep trying to keep that under wraps.
Right. Yep, that has to happen.
Have you ever met Jan?
Okay, I actually did meet Jan. It was brief. It was at the Webster Theater in Hartford, and actually that photo just surfaced recently. We found it. My friend Rob, who took the photo, found it, and she was playing with her version of Vixen. And I had gone, and yeah, I really she's always been an inspiration. So I was excited to meet her, and we took a quick pic after the show at a little kind of meet and greet type setting, and didn't really get to talk to her much, but did meet her.
No, it's
And it was
absolutely
inspiring.
it is inspiring, and I think that's the thing when you visualize and put that energy out. It's kind of like with the Talisman, all great group of guys who loved Kiss, and then they're playing in the Gene Simmons and Ace Frehley bands and their own.
Yeah.
Let alone, I don't know if you played down at their rock and roll residency, but the list goes on, and I'm going to actually bend their ear and try to jump on stage with them as well and have some more
They're
laughs.
awesome.
Oh, they're
yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
What a great group of guys. Yeah, they're all awesome, and they know how to have fun on stage. They always have fun.
No, they
got
really,
that part down.
they really do. And I think it would be better coming from you than me if you would call Ryan and the gang, because Ryan's a huge KC fan and he lost in the Super Bowl. So that was a big joke going around. So
Yeah, good point. Good point. I'll have to rub it in. You're right.
I was
Thanks for the
looking.
reminder.
I was trying to have you console him, and you're going to get him good. Hey, Ryan.
I will.
From the standpoint of you meeting Jane, you never know where you're going to be, and these are just great experiences as they are. My father always said, be prepared for the day that you're called. And that's with whatever you do. You working through your music and through your career, and have gotten to a point, you auditioned with Lady Gaga. That didn't work out, but didn't that lead to Alejandro Sanz and the other things, correct?
Absolutely. Yeah. What do they say? Luck is when preparation meets opportunity. You know, it's like if you are prepared and you are presented with the right opportunity, be ready, because that opportunity will come and it'll come when you're ready, and you just have to be available and ready to go and go after it. And you miss 100% of the chances you don't take. So, it's worth it. And who cares if you don't get something? It's like you gotta go after every opportunity, especially in this industry. But I think that goes for really anything in life, anything that's worth pursuing. You gotta be there, and you gotta work hard, and you gotta focus, and if it's meant to be, you'll get there. But perseverance is huge. I mean, so many people give up when they meet resistance, and so I think that goes a long way in doing something for a career. Just the determination and not giving up when meeting an obstacle.
No, for sure. And do you feel, when I think about a lot of the artists nowadays and how things have changed with, getting a record deal to being on these platforms of Spotify, my friend Will Rue said millions of views, but it doesn't turn into a lot of money.
Right.
For everybody going after their passion. What have you seen in the industry, and what would you tell, musicians out there that are, because you went to school at Northeastern, you've studied the business, you've experienced the business. What are some of the pitfalls to avoid, and what are some of the realistic expectations as far as 145 song can buy me a Ferrari? What would you say to them?
I would say, I wanted to go to Berkeley, and I wanted to just study music, and that was all I could see. I just wanted to just be a professional musician. That was it. And then my parents convinced me to go for a backup plan and, learn the music business. And you can use a business degree in really any field of life. And so I did that, and I am super grateful for that. And I think with what we've seen with COVID, how it's destroyed so many businesses, so many people's livelihoods. It's put all tours on hold,
Yes.
all shows canceled. I would say to people, I think having a backup plan is a good idea. And it doesn't mean you're not committed to your craft and your passion of what you want to do. It's just another tool for survival. I mean, I've been really lucky during this time when we have no shows. I have been working with Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
No, that was my next question, and stop taking over the interview.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was lucky to be able to kind of fall into this position of doing these online master classes that I've been hosting and helping to produce, and it's been amazing, and that's been saving my life right now. I'm sure I could be doing live streaming concerts from or whatever, but I don't think that would really fulfill my creative need, and it's a little hard. It's sad. It's hard for people right now, and just having versatility in your skill set and being able to have multiple sources of income. I think those are all really important things to consider. And it's like when you want to be a rock star, that's just kind of like the cool mindset, and like thinking of multiple ways to create revenue is like an adult kind of thing that you probably don't want to think about. I don't like those words. I mean, it's like, ugh, that sounds so adulting. I don't want to do that. I just want to, play shows and play guitar and have fun. But you do realize that anything can happen, and when you're a musician, it's a hustle. I mean, unless you happen to fall into that category where you have got the perfect band with the perfect chemistry with these individuals, and you have a bond and you don't break up, and you happen to write hit songs and they happen to be loved by the public, and you happen to do it at a time when you can make money off of record sales, and it's not just whatever small change for streaming, then it works. But so much is changing right now. So in this new model where people are putting out records on their own, like you said, they're not really getting record deals with big labels, and the whole model has changed. So I think it is smart to just explore lots of different options and be multi-talented and different things, and be smart and learn about business, because no matter what you do, if you're trying to make money, it's business.
Yeah, no matter what. I remember sales gigs with these awards, and they would describe the sales people as rock stars. This is our rock star. So that mindset permeates everything. It's just, again, I'm going to learn that guitar, I tell you right now. And speaking of which, with the rock and roll fantasy camp, which I need,
fanny camp.
or is that fanny pack? Leave my man purse out of this, lady. I've had people come up to me, what's your problem? And I'm like, well, that's within the man purse. But I need about 5 of these rock and roll fantasy camps. But what is in the camp? What do you get? What are you learning?
Well, Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp is basically when we have live camps. It's you get together and join a band for about 4 days, and it takes place in a major city like Vegas or LA or New York, and you get to jam with these rock star counselors. I've been a counselor, so each counselor gets their own band, and you coach them. And each camp has a theme, like Kiss, like Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. You get to jam Kiss songs with them, or Deep Purple. One of the last camps I was at, it was people jamming on stage live with Ian Pace and Steve Morse playing Highway Star, and you play at a real venue like the Whiskey a Go Go or something like that if you're in LA. And it is like an amazing opportunity, and you just, more importantly than anything, these people, you kind of come out of your shell, you get over certain fears, you're on stage, you're performing, you're doing it, and meeting your idols and learning from them, and you get this bond with the people, you make friends for life. It's really amazing. So that's incredible, and that's been going on for the past 25 years. But then, since we can't have the live camps, we started doing these online master classes where you get to actually spend over an hour in conversation with your favorite rock star. So we've got Roger Daltrey coming up. We had Joe Elliott from Def Leppard, Alice Cooper, but then managers too, like Shep Gordon, and bands like Styx, and just learning. It's not really a live performance scenario, but it's you can talk to these people and get so much knowledge and inspiration. It's been really inspiring, especially during this time.
Yeah, I've seen that. So they could, what is the website for that then for our listeners?
So rockcamp.com is the main site, but then you can find all our classes online right now at rockcampmasterclasses.com.
Awesome. Will you be having one in Boston, do you think, at some point in time when this lifts?
Yes, we're going to make that happen. Absolutely.
I will be there for my 5.
Maybe we'll have maybe some kind of Aerosmith or we'll do some Boston band. Yeah, we'll do it.
That'd be so much fun. Growing up, your sister played drums.
Yes.
Did she influence you? Did you influence her?
I influenced her, I think, because I picked up guitar first, and then, we wanted to be able to jam together. And so, we had a friend that had a drum kit. And so we got that over the house. My parents were so cool because we'd be raising a lot of hell in the living room, making a lot of noise. And we had it all set up right in the living room. So we were lucky they let us, get loud for a little while. And all the friends would come to our house and we'd have jams all the time. And, so she was a great drummer, but I do have to say she influenced me in the fact that we liked different bands completely. Like she was really into Anthrax and some kind of like heavier bands, and I was more into the hair bands. So we kind of influenced each other that way by introducing each other to new bands that we hadn't really gotten into. And then she ended up joining Jaded, but playing bass because I didn't have a female bass player.
Wow.
And I had nowhere else to turn but say, "Hey, little sister, I got some news for you. Your instrument's changing and you just joined a band and you got a gig next weekend, so you better learn fast."
I mean, "Hey, little sister, did you write that song as well?" You're like, "No, I lived it, okay?" No, that's so awesome to share. So good. What was sort of, and you've done so many of them, I was just wondering, like, what was sort of a Led Zeppelin moment for you to be like, "Wow, say it backwards. Wow, say it upside down. Mom, I'm really doing what I set out to do"?
Yeah, well, it was always hard having my own band and with Jaded and making things happen. But we did do some shows overseas.
You
and
really
that was
did.
Very cool. I have this moment I'll always remember from a band that I played with before Jaded. And it was my first real rock band. First time I went on a quote unquote tour. I think the furthest we went was Baltimore, but I remember going out there. I was, underage, but, so I had the X's on my hands, but I was like, this is cool. This is the first time I'm actually really away, not at summer camp or anything like that, but I'm like away from my parents, like doing something that I want to be doing. And I'm at this bar and I just played it and people thought I was good and I'm on my own. And I just like remember walking down the streets in the city and just feeling so free and being like, this is it. Like, I'm doing it. This is what I wanted, and I was like 16 and just feeling that sense of freedom and accomplishment of being like, well, from my bedroom in my parents' house to now I'm on stage and, I'm doing it. So that was really cool. But then also there's a distinct moment when we played in Costa Rica at an outdoor stadium with Alejandro, and my parents came and it was just so cool. They flew, we're in this other country and they're there watching me play this sold out stadium. And I remember my dad just saying to me afterwards, "Wow, you really did it. Like, this, congratulations. This is amazing. You're doing it." And so that was a special moment.
No, I think they're both so special and so real at both spectrums, because at that point in time, that was your sold out time. And that's the way I look at it as well. Like, I've done a St. Patrick's Day parade in South Boston with my band. I've done it twice. We're on the third one. It's just having fun, and you exude that.
Awesome.
You know what I mean? It's like, has there been a project lately that you've said no to?
I guess some of the quarantine jams and, I don't enjoy recording from home. I have to be honest. So that's been a little hindrance for me with COVID. I get frustrated. I would much rather have somebody be in a studio and have somebody else push the buttons. I just would like to focus on playing, and I don't like learning that recording stuff. I like learning a lot of different things. You'd be surprised, but that, no. So that just takes the fun out of it for me. So I've turned a lot of those things down, as far as, some recorded performances during this time, but what can you do?
Well, I'm going to give you another opportunity. Would you like to join the Melted Chapsticks?
Well,
I'm kind of busy right now. Well, there's your other no. I just wanted you to have some fun with that. But how about the Monsters of Rock? How was that?
Yeah.
And you're going to do
Oh my
another one,
God.
right?
Yes. Well, yeah, cruises are off for right now, but when we can have the cruises, it is just amazing. I mean, it's like a high school reunion. I mean, people come from all different countries, from all over the world, and they love these bands. And I've done, I think, five now. And so you get to know the cruisers, and they become like your family. And when you get to see everybody, it's like, I mean, you just walk down any hallway anywhere in the whole ship, and you know everybody. I mean, everybody's saying hi. It is like the most fun kind of family feeling, just wonderful time, filled with rock and roll and free food and lots of booze, and it's the best. It's like yeah, a rock show on vacation. It's awesome. And if you haven't been, I highly, highly recommend it. And yeah, there's one on the books right now for at a resort in Punta Cana, since we can't do the cruises. So we'll see what happens there.
No, absolutely. I think that's going to be a blast. Have you gotten your pilot's license yet?
Okay, not yet, but that is so on my to-do list. I've actually been fairly busy working during COVID, on different projects and stuff, mainly like doing the rock camp stuff. So I haven't dedicated the time to it, but in the next year, yes, I've got to do it. It's on the bucket list. It must be done.
Must be that. And how many NAMM shows have you been to?
Oh boy, that's a good question. I've been to a lot. I've been fortunate. I used to fly out from Boston when I lived out there, and went for quite a few years and met a lot of great people. Those are always just a party and so much fun, and a great way to connect and meet people in the industry, and meet gear company, artist reps and things like that. Test out new gear. It is so fun. I really did miss it this year.
And then a last question, as far as your gear, have you kind of downsized over the years? Because, for me, I always thought more was better. And it's like, well, I have to learn how to play the guitar first. But
I've completely downsized. I mean, I had a huge TC Electronics G system, like floorboard. It looked like you could use like a rocket ship launch pad thing when I was on the Alejandro tour. And now I am down to a flyboard, which is basically for fly dates. It fits in the back of your backpack. I've got those little micro-sized pedals, or not even full-size pedals. It is so light. It actually looks like a flute case, what I carry my pedals in. And then, because we do mostly fly dates with Vixen. And so, we get things backlined, so the gear is usually there. Sometimes I like to bring my own head if I have room. I have a little travel size Hughes and Kettner Grandmeister 40, and that thing is awesome. Fits under the seat in front of you, on an airplane. So it's great to travel with. And of course, I bring my own GHS strings, and I bring my own guitars. But other than that, I travel pretty light. The pedals have really downsized. I mean, we're talking tuner, pedal, boost, one delay, one analog delay, and a wah, if needed. So yeah, try to keep it real light.
Yeah,
less is more. Less technical difficulties, the better for me. Something goes wrong, I don't want to have to go through like 8 different pedals and wires. I can't.
Yeah, I help my drummer carry the drums, etc. I don't want that to get out because I'm a diva, but I always say, hey, it's the early years. I'm just carrying my own stuff. But, let's just continue to enjoy the travel. I want to thank you so much, Britt Lightning, for joining Melted, and you are a blessing. You have at least 15 years before I propose to marry to you. I will have Eruption down. I'll make your family happy. So you're safe.
Okay, I love it. It was fabulous talking to you, and great to reconnect after all these years.
Yeah, you have a great day. Say hi to Stripey for me. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
And that was Britt Lightning of Vixen. Fantastic person, wonderful family, incredible musician. The masterclass she's promoting, as well as her tours with Jaded, Alejandro Sanz. It's just all the stuff that she's created. It's just, it's incredible. And I want to thank you so much for joining us today. We have a very special guest, Britt Lightning of Vixen. Fantastic person, wonderful family, incredible musician. The masterclass she's promoting, as well as her tours with Jaded, Alejandro Sanz. It's just all the stuff that she's created It's amazing. She is an example of how to be a rock star and willing to help and give back. Let other people know. Follow your passions. We want to thank Britt Lightning for joining Melted, sponsored by Carlino Guitar. Continue to make your music. Thank you, Britt Lightning. Thank you, Carlino Guitars. And we'll just keep rocking and rolling, whether you like it or not. Sorry, Mom and Dad, I'm going to keep doing this. Have a great day, everybody.
This podcast was produced in collaboration with the Boston Free Radio Podcast Network, part of bostonfreeradio.com and Somerville Media Center, Somerville's longest-running public access media center that enables a vibrant and diverse community to express its creativity, explain its ideas, share its cultures, and foster the individual right to freedom of speech. Learn more about Somerville Media Center at somervillemedia.org or check out some of the other amazing Boston Free Radio podcasts and radio shows at bostonfreeradio.com. Thanks for listening.